Okay, so today there's no Common Core except for we're going to be reviewing quadratics, okay? So we're going to be reviewing quadratics, and I zoomed it way in, super far in, so you guys can see the small ones, right? The quiz is just like this, so if we can do this, we're good to go, all right? So let's take a look. First of all, in the first one, it says factor. Number one is the one you guys quite often miss, because it's common factoring, okay? Number one is common factoring. And we're just going to find out the common multiple, which is 4, and they both have at least one x in common. So you common factor out the 4x, take that out. Then if I common factor 4x, all that would be left in the first term is just an x. We common factored out a multiple, so 4 goes into 25 times, and I took out its x. That's it. Common factor. Easy. Okay. Example 2. If I common factor, well, excuse me, I won't common factor, but I will use a trinomial. I'll go parentheses, 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 right? I'm going to go x minus 4 and x minus 3. Okay? Because they multiply to make a 12 and add to make the negative 7. Okay? How am I doing? Okay? Everybody good? I mean, we're getting good at factoring, at least I think so, because we've been doing it forever, haven't we? About a month's worth of factoring. Getting sick of it yet? Maybe. Okay, so factor, 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 right? So we're going to go ahead, and the only way I can make a 5x squared is with a 5x and with an x, okay? The only way I can make a 2 is with a 2 and a 1, but I have to be careful because I need to make a 3. So I'll put my 2 here, my 1 here, and if I check my double smiley. So if you check your double smiley, I need to somehow come up with a negative 3. So if I put a negative here, it would make a negative 5x, and a positive here would make a positive 2x. Then they will work to make my negative 3x. So that would be my answer for factor. Okay, so you've got to check it, right? So you've got to make that middle term. Okay, how am I doing? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Jennifer. Yeah, you tell me. Just let me know, okay? Now, the difference between the first 3 and the next ones is that you actually have to factor, then solve, okay? So on 4, 5, and 6, you have to say x equals, okay? So let's take a look at 4. Jennifer, you good? Okay, on 4, before I factor, though, let's make it equal to 0. So bring everything over, okay? Bring everything over. So if I bring it over, I'll have a 5x squared. To bring over the 3x, I have to subtract it, right? So I'll subtract the 3x. To bring over the 2, I'll have to subtract the 2 and set it equal to 0, okay? Okay, let's factor. Okay, hey, it's the identical one to that one, isn't it? Hey, what do you know? You think I did that on purpose? Probably. So I factor. We already know it's going to be a 5x plus 2. We already know it's an x minus 1, right? And then we're not done because we're solving, right? We know there's going to be 2 answers. So we're going to go ahead and take a 5x plus 2 and set it equal to 0, and an x minus 1 and set it equal to 0. And we're going to solve, okay? So I'm going to go minus 2, minus 2. Got a 5x equals a negative 2. Divide by 5, and one answer is negative 2 fifths. That's one of the 2 answers, and then in this one, plus 1, plus 1. The other answer is just a positive 1, okay? We've been doing this forever, haven't we? Okay. Example 5. Okay, in example 5, I'm going to get rid of the square by doing its opposite. The way you get rid of the square is to square root it. So if I square root both sides, it'll cancel the square. So if the square drops out, you're just left with an x minus 4, okay? But on the other side, we're going to take the square root of 25, which is 5, yes, but we need 2 answers, right? Always 2 answers, so we get a plus or a minus 5. We need both. We need both, okay? So from here, all I'm going to do is set up my 2, because I need 2 equations, 2 mini equations. I'm going to have an x minus 4 equals a 5. And I'll do an x minus 4 equals a negative 5. So there's my 2 mini equations. They've got it equal to a 5 and then equal to a negative 5, right? And then just solve it's easy. I'm just going to go plus 4, one answer is 9. I'm going to go plus 4 plus 4. The other answer is negative 1. Okay. Thumbs up. So far, so good. Okay. On number 6. If I get going too fast, tell me to slow down, please. Okay. Number 6. I want number 6 to be like number 5. So I'm going to bring the 4 back over to the other side. I'm going to subtract the 4. So I'll have an x minus 1 squared equals negative 4. Okay. And then what I'm going to need to do is just like example 5, I'm going to get rid of the square by taking the square root. And because that'll cancel the square, so I square root this side. So the square root will cancel the square, so just left with an x minus 1. But over here, square root of 4 is easy, but I get a negative, right? So I'm going to have an I answer. I know the square root of negative 1 is I, so I'm going to get plus or minus 2i, okay? And I got the I from the square root of the negative 1. Okay, and you guys know that. We've done that plenty of times. Now the last step we're going to do is go plus 1 plus 1. Can't really add 1 to that because that's an I, so we leave it as an answer of x equals 1 plus or minus 2i, okay? And all this stuff is pretty much review, right? We've done this. Hopefully by tomorrow you can say, Mr. Davis, I've done this for 2 weeks. I can do this, right? I've done this for 2 weeks. Hopefully you're good. Okay, now example 7. Let me get out a piece of graph paper so I can do example 7. Now one of the things I'm going to do on example 7 is why not just let the calculator do it for me, okay? So I'm going to grab a calculator and I'm going to let the graph do it for me. I'm pretty sure though it's going to go all the way down to negative 30, so I might have to change my, it's going to go all the way down to negative 30. I may have to go by 2s to get it down there. Let's see, maybe more than that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Ooh, man, it's going to have to go way down there. Well, all right, I'll go by, let's see, 5, negative 10, negative 15. That's not even going to work. Okay, well, maybe we'll just go by 10s. Negative 10, negative 20, negative 30. There you go. That'll fit. I'll just go by 1s on this one because I know what it's going to be. Okay. So let me put on my calculator, right? So if I put on my calculator, I'm going to go to, oh, my battery's low. Of course they are. You guys can't even see that. Sometimes, can you see that? Kind of, sort of? Kind of, sort of. Y equals, right? Kind of, sort of, ish. So I got it right to the light. How's that? Is that better? Oh, almost have it out of the light. Oh, look at that, huh? Let me turn my scatter plot off. I don't want my scatter plot. Okay, clear. So I'm going to go x squared minus x minus 30, right? And before I graph it, I'm going to play around with my window a little bit because I know the negative 30, right? So I'm going to go to my window and play around with my window. For sure it's going to go to negative 30 on the y min, right? I know for sure negative 30, right? Because negative 30. So let's make it go further than negative 30, so see a little bit more, maybe negative 35. I'm just playing around with the window. And then I'm going to try and graph it. Okay, there it is. That looks pretty good. Oh, lost it because my batteries are low. Yeah, I know. Okay, there it is. Now, one of the things I can do is I can also shade it, right? Because it says it's going to be greater than 0, which means it's going to have to be the other way around. If I had a, okay. Oh, my goodness, I'm doing the wrong stuff. Leora, you're supposed to stop me and say, Mr. Davis is not a Y. I'm doing it wrong. Leora, you're supposed to help me. So this one's going to be on a number line. I should just slow down. I even recorded that. This is on a number line. Okay, one more thing. How do I know this is supposed to be on a number line?
No Y.
No Y. Silly me. Forgive me, you guys. So we're going to factor. We'll do the number line on the other one. Or we'll do the regular one on the other one. X minus 6, X plus 5, right? Less than 0. So I've got as border points, and I'll spell it right this time, okay? I will. Border points. We're going to have x equals 6 and x equals negative 5, right? Pot negative 5. Get my number line out. Boy, I really blew that one, didn't I? It happens. Won't be the last time I make a mistake, huh? I promise that it will not be the last time I make a mistake, okay? I'm going to go open circles because there's no equal sign. And then if it's less than, let's pick a point. Probably the easiest point to pick would be 0. Do you agree with that? If I plug 0 in, I really get negative 30 is less than 0. That's true. So I'm going to shade in this region. Okay. While I'm here, take a look at the graph anyway. Why not? It does. The graph actually gives it away. Because all of these are negative values which are less than 0. These are all, so you know you'd have to shade in between here and here. It's another way to do it, huh? Okay, without even factoring it, you can do it with the calculator. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and graph on my calculator. So, let's try, if my batteries don't die on me, let me grab a different calculator just to be on the safe side. So now, this one, let's graph it on the calculator. This time, let's see if I can do a better job. Right there. I'm going to go to y equals. Glare is just great. Turn off my scatter plot. Alright, turn off my scatter plot. Turn that off. Okay, quit. I'm going to go clear. I'm going to go y equals. Clear that. And we're going to go an x squared minus 4x. Subtract 12. And I can even shade, can't I? Remember how we can shade? I can go over here and say, okay, I want it to be greater than. There's greater than, right? There it is. And if I graph it, might have to fix my window a little bit. What do you think? Should I fix my window? Let me go a little bit further over to the x max. It's a little bit more x. I need a little bit more x, maybe 10. I need a little bit more negative y, maybe negative 10. Now let's graph it. Oh, that looks almost better. I need a little bit more y min, right? A little bit more y min. Go to my window. Let's go a little further down, like maybe negative 15. Let's try it now. Oh, we're still not there. So let's go a little bit more y min. Let's go negative 20 maybe, okay? Oh, no, that looks much better, right? So if I take my graph paper, put it in there, alright, and let's see if I can put this on there. Alright, there we go, that's what I want. And okay. So from my calculator, I'm pretty sure about a couple of things. Let's see, it looks like it is at 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it 5? I could factor it. 6, isn't it? 6. So I'm at 6 for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I know I'm at negative 2 because if you factor it's negative 2. My vertex is down here. My y-intercept is at negative 12. I know my y-intercept is at negative 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is way down there, right? Got that. And then my vertex. Let's see if I can figure out what my vertex is. So one way to get my vertex is to use my trace button. Will it trace under this? Oh, it kind of will. So my vertex is about at 2, negative 16. Or I can calculate my minimum. Remember how we did that? Left bound, right bound. Guess. I think it's right about there. So sure enough, it's at 2, negative 16, which puts me right there. Now, you ready? This is going to be a dashed parabola. This is going to be a dashed parabola because there's no equal sign, right? So it's a dashed parabola, so I made it dashed. So I made a dashed parabola. And then I already saw that it's going to be everything inside because it's greater than. So I shade all that. How's that? Since I started the wrong problem prior to that, I got it right this time, okay? Okay, example 9. Solved by the quadratic formula, okay? Alright, let me go into another page. And there it is. I've got the quadratic formula for you. It's also on the board. It will stay on the board for you, okay? So you don't have to write that down, okay? So before I do the quadratic formula, let's write down what A is. A is 2, B is -4, and C is 7, okay? So you need to do by the quadratic formula. I'm going to be checking for the work. So you ready? Here we go. -B. So I'm going to go A -4, because it's -b and b is -4, plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is -4 squared minus 4, times a, which is 2, times c, which is 7, all over 2a, which is 2 times 2. Okay, I'll let you catch up. So just plug in the numbers into the quadratic formula, okay? Just move it over so you can see. Okay, pretty easy so far? Okay, then I'm going to have a positive 4 plus or minus square root of a 16 minus, let's see, that's going to be 56, isn't it? 8 times 7, all over 4. Slide up. How am I doing, okay? 4 plus or minus square root of a -40 all over 4. Now, automatically, I know I'm going to have an I answer. All right, I'm going to have an I answer. So let me break this down. 4 plus or minus the square root of 4, square root of 10, square root of -1 all over 4. So I'll show you where the I is coming from. Which is going to be 4 plus or minus 2 square roots of 10 I all over 4. Am I going too fast? Am I okay? Am I okay? Alima, am I okay? Am I going too fast? Okay. So then I'm really going to rewrite this as 4 over 4 plus 2 over 4 square roots of 10I, which is, we can reduce, right? We can reduce that to a 1 plus or minus 1/2 square roots of 10I. Okay, plus or minus. I did say that. Just didn't write it. Need new glasses. Okay, thumbs up. Can you do this tomorrow?
Can you go up a little bit?
I sure can. Right to there? You got it all? Alright, turn the page, you guys. Oh, Emma, I'm so sorry, you guys. To there? Is that okay to there? Yeah. All right, Ben, we're going to turn the page, and then do you want to use your phone or do you want to use a calculator? Because I want you to learn how to do this, right?
Calculator.
Okay, I'll get you one, okay? Hopefully the batteries are good. Huh? Okay, make sure the batteries are working, okay? Okay, are you ready, you guys? Turn the page, Emma. Okay, so let's turn the page. So, first of all, find the points. So let's graph. It says graph the points. That's pretty easy to do. I'll do just a little scatter plot right here, okay? Little mini scatter plot on the side. I can do that. That's easy. Okay. Alright. So I'm going to start trying to graph these. And I'm going to put in a 1, 7. Oh, I don't think my graph's big enough. I hate it when that happens. Let's try again. Got to go all up to a 10, don't I? Alright, try again. Oh my goodness. There you go. Now I can get my points in there. 1, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 1, 2, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 7, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops, 7 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, there it is. Looks like it could be a parabola. It really does. To me, it looks like it could be a parabola. So let's find the equation. So I'm going to go through this slowly. Okay, Ben, so you guys learn how to do this. Okay, step by step. You ready? Well, you can barely see that, can you? Okay. All right, you ready? Step 1, stat. right? Edit. Let's get rid of our old points, clear out the data, okay? How am I doing? Ben, am I going too fast? Okay, so far? Let's put in our x values for list 1. So x values 1, 2, 4, 6, 7. We'll put in our y values into list 2, 7, 4, 2, 5, 10. Okay, how am I doing? Okay. Then I'm going to go to stat again. Okay, once we're in, go to stat again. We want to calculate an answer, but the answer we want is the quadratic regression. Okay, so I went over to calculate, went down to quadrag. I need to tell it where my lists are. I want to use list 1, which is in blue. Then don't forget a comma, list 2, okay? There's my answer. So it already gives you the form. We just have to plug in A, B, and C, okay? So A is about a 0.74, B is about a negative 5.5, and C is about 11.9, okay? Ben, did you get those? Good. So our answer then, if we write it down, is going to be a y equals about a 0.74, and I'm rounding, x squared minus a 5.5 x plus 11.9. Okay. So far so good. Find the vertex. Well, okay, to get the vertex, we're going to have to use our negative b over 2a, because that would give us the x value of the vertex, right? So I'm going to use a negative 5.5 divided by 2 times a 0.74, and I'm going to need to use my calculator to do this. I got to make sure though when you use your parentheses that you really use parentheses at there, so that you divide the entire bottom by the top. So I'm going to go positive 5.5. Let's see what's 5.5 divided by parentheses 2 times my 0.74. I get an answer about 3.7. So I get about a 3.7 something, right? Oh, you can't see that slide over. There's my 3.7 something. So you get my something. Let's plug that 3.7 in for x, right? And again, I'm going to use my calculator to show that. Okay, so I'll plug my 3.7 into my equation. So I'll clear that. So I'll go 0.74 times my 3.7 squared, because I'm plugging it in. Subtract 5.5 times my 3.7 plus 11.9. And again, that's about 1.68, okay? 1.68. Okay, so there's my vertex after plugging it in, okay? Then find f of 3. It's the same thing. We're just going to plug it in. So we're going to plug 3. Use a different color. Let's take 3. We're going to plug 3 in for x, right? So we'll do the same thing. Take your calculator. We'll plug in 3. So I'm going to go 0.74 times 3 squared. Subtract 5.5 times 3 plus 11.9. I get an answer of about 2.06. Okay, f of 3 is about 2.06. Okay, how am I doing? Okay, we're finally at the end of this chapter with quadratics, and I'm hoping by now you can actually do some things. You can factor, right? You can do this stuff. You can find the vertex. We've been doing this for about a month, right? Okay, example 7. We're just going to subtract. Put reals with reals, imaginaries with imaginaries. 2 minus 4 is a negative 2, and 3i minus a minus, double negative, is going to be plus to add, so I get a positive 8i. Okay? So I'm just subtracting reals with reals and subtracting imaginaries with imaginary. Okay? Example 12. we're gonna multiply. So we're gonna do our double distribute or FOIL. I'll go this times this makes it 10. 2 times 5. 2 times 2i is a 4i. Negative 3i times 5 is a negative 15i. And negative 3 times a 2i is a negative 6i squared. Okay? Now, any I squared, we're just going to change to negative 1. Okay? Any I squared, we're just going to change into a negative 1. So, let's see. I'll have a 10, and this will be a negative 11i. Negative 1 times negative 6 makes a positive 6. You get that? Negative 1 times negative 6, positive 6. So my answer is going to be a 16 minus 11i. How's that? Okay. Putting Caleb to sleep because he already knows how to do this. Okay. Sorry, Caleb. Now, are we good? Thumbs up. You can do this, right? This is definitely on the test. We haven't seen any I's, but on the Common Core, I is on there. It is. Okay, example 13. Well, you're not supposed to have I in the denominator. That's the bottom. Denominator, the bottom. So we fix the problem with the problem, right? So multiply by I over I. And I'm going to distribute a 3i minus a 2i squared over 4i squared, right? Again, we're going to change our I squareds into negative 1s because they are negative 1s. So I'm going to change a 3i minus 2 times negative 1 is really plus 2. Negative 1 times 4 is a negative 4. Slide it up so you can see it. Okay. Try and slide it. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a negative 1/2 minus 3/4 I. Okay. Here's my negative 1/2. See my negative 1/2? Here's my negative 1/2. 2/4, right? Here's my negative 3/4 I. Okay. Okay. Last but not least, we're going to graph, and then we're going to find the absolute value. So to graph, I'll just do a real quick sketch of it. It doesn't have to be perfect or beautiful, but just in the right location. So here's my graph. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. This is the real axis. This is my imaginary axis. So I'm going to go then 1, 2, 3, 4, and put a point right here. Okay, that's my complex point on the complex plane. Okay, then if I want to get the absolute value, it's really just this length from here to here. That's all it really is. So it's really Pythagorean's theorem. So we're going to go the square root of 3 squared plus a negative 4 squared. That's all we're going to do. Which is the square root of 9 plus 16, which is the square root of 25, which is just plain old 5. Slide it over, okay? All right, that's all I have. I do have a little assignment for you because I want you to practice this, okay? I do want you to do this. It's not that many at all.
13.
Yeah, we got lots of time to get it done.